Top of my head's cut off, right? Maybe Amr can like adjust it.
Yeah.
Why is it doing that?
It's like gravitating back towards.
Let's get up real quick and pick this up.
Okay, good.
Maybe I can
Lower your chair.
lower my chair.
Yeah, lower it. No, he's good. Let him lower it. He's good. There you go.
All right.
All right. Yeah, we're live right now.
Man.
3, 2, 1. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the Mad Mamluks podcast. My name is Sim. Along with me are my co-hosts, Sheikh Amr, and the host of Sultans and Sneakers, Mahin Islam. How's everyone doing?
What was that? That was a cute smile. The more I like this,
It's a side effect from the vaccine.
I think the more professional you get, the more I like this new out of element version of.
Oh, really?
Mahin.
You see my screen? Like, this is like my, if you can see this, it's like my,
I was going to ask you about.
I get that every morning. So my kids are always looking for when I come home what color I got. Because it's a different color every day. There's a temperature screening when you go to work. They scan your temperature. If you clear it, then you get that. And I also got to show my app, which has my negative COVID test for the week.
Wow. It's like
to get
that.
in the building kind of
like
thing.
that.
Yeah.
So how's that, man? How's the vaccine life?
I mean, it felt like a pen. Like a little pen.
That's all it is, yeah.
Yeah. And then I just didn't feel anything. And I was using the restroom at the end of the day. And I like reached back to flush. I was like, oh, I can. And like right now, I can feel a little soreness right now. So
Yeah, that's all you're going to feel, a little soreness.
Yeah.
When are you going to get it, Sim?
When us small people have the ability to receive it. I mean,
small people.
we're not like a master sheikh like you.
Master Chef. It's not Master Chef, it's about educators and
What if there was like a TV show like Master Chef but Master Sheikh?
how would you spin that though? What would it be?
What would it be?
What would it be, Master Chef? What is that?
I mean, like, who's the best sheikh?
Oh wow. Yeah, that's
Like,
pretty
you just throw every complicated matter at a bunch of sheikhs and they like have 60 minutes to figure it out. It would be kind of like Iron Chef. You know, you ever
Iron
watch
Sheikh. Iron Sheik, remember?
Iron Sheikh, yeah. Iron Sheikh the wrestler.
Yeah, I actually saw a documentary on it. It was pretty interesting. Because I remember watching him grow up. But you were telling me something. What were you saying about Rockport, Oxford, or something?
Oh, yeah, Oxford Zeneca vaccine.
Yeah.
Well, the Oxford Zeneca vaccine, at least from what I researched, I like the science behind it better. But there's other doctors I've talked to who prefer the Pfizer Moderna science.
Don't you have the connect to Dr. Akbar, bro?
Oh, yeah. I think he's. I don't know if he actually has any specific recommendation, but we can maybe talk to him. And
Tell him
see
to give you all three.
we
Tell
had.
me you want all three vaccines.
I wonder if that would work.
I've heard some folks are talking about the Johnson & Johnson one's going to be one dose.
Yeah, I heard about that.
You know,
It's supposed to be for the elderly. It's supposed to be a little
But I heard
lighter.
that Johnson Johnson isn't as effective. It's like 70% or something.
but
like
it's designed for the severe COVID.
Is it really?
That's what it's more. It's more like this because there's different. We were talking about it on the Amr and I were talking on the Bluetooth on the way over here about like how COVID is so random. That's the weird thing about it. It's like some people get it, they're asymptomatic. They just take their 2 weeks off from work. It's like a vacation.
Yeah, he was telling me that one of his relatives, you know, when your cousins passed away from
My
it, right?
cousin's wife passed away.
Cousin's wife passed away from it.
How old is she?
She's probably like late 40s, early 50s.
But her mother got it,
That's pretty young, dude.
who has health conditions, and she was fine.
I mean, I don't know if she had health conditions, but she's an elderly, right? Because I don't know that my cousin's wife had health conditions either,
Okay.
right? But it's like they got it in the house, like, you know, it's probably the same strain, but the mom survived and the daughter didn't.
Is it so? That's the number, right? It's like basically 1% of people who get COVID in the States is death.
Less than
basic-
1%. But they're saying, but the death count's like 450,000 or 440,000, which is a hell of a lot of people. That's like 500,000 people.
So I was talking to somebody about that at work. They're like, no, everything that the numbers are inflated because anyone, even if they're in hospice and they die when they get COVID, they're going to write that off as a COVID death, even though it was that they're going to die. They have like a week to live anyway, and then they end up contracting COVID, then
I think those are like outliers, though, to be honest.
those are right. So, what do you guys know about like the inflation numbers? I know we talked about this a lot, but I'm really, really thinking about this now for some reason. Like I didn't pay attention to all this overinflation of numbers, but now it's kind of settling in. I'm actually considering like, what was it thing all about?
There's some solid Telegram groups that you should refer to get educated on COVID.
Solid was that?
Solid Telegram groups.
Solid Telegram groups.
Yes.
Why are you saying with a big smile on your face? What's going on?
Are these like conspiracy theory groups?
I mean, there's just stuff on there. Like,
okay, bro, you can't just say that. That's too ambiguous. You have a big smile on your face and you're acting.
You got to go all in. You can't just like half-heartedly.
Like Daniel Hikikuchu's Telegram group is lit.
Okay.
All right, like that's you gotta like. That's just.
I don't know the whole deal, but is he kind of like a denier or something of COVID? What's
he's
going on?
not denying it, but it's more like he thinks it's part. He equates it to like the war on terror.
Okay, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, yes, there are terrorists. I mean, I'm sitting in a room with them, but
it's being used as a cover to pass other
correct. Yeah.
other nefarious
and it's inflation. It's inflating stuff to like. Sim had no idea if it went over his head, but yeah, it's used as a cover to further other agendas, and they're inflating stuff. And like what Amr was saying is like, dude's got HIV and COVID, and he dies. Like,
yeah, look. Okay, so I mean, with all due respect to Daniel, that he feels that a lot of these laws and things, like for example the shutting down of mosques and stuff, are counterproductive, or they're utilizing COVID to dissuade people from Islam. I think the battle against religion and from society and stuff, it's not like that takes a very intentional.
Yeah.
My philosophy is that this kind of stuff happens more in the background. Like for example, no one sits down and says, "Hey, we need to use COVID to prevent people from going to the mosque."
Yeah.
Yeah. I say that people, the way our modern world works, we're just naturally inclined to be me first, self-preservation, and the ideas in society are kind of pushing everyone in that direction, so that you don't necessarily have to attack someone's faith. You're just kind of telling them, "Hey, do you really need to go to the mosque?"
Yeah.
And people are like, "Well, number one safety thing is safety," and people operate in that way. You don't necessarily have to make any organized conspiracy to prevent people from using COVID as a way, as like a Trojan horse to introduce irreligiosity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm saying, like, yes, there might be some of that maybe within certain segments of society.
Some people,
but the majority of society is operating in a way that is completely like it ignores Islam. Islam is just completely ignored, or any other religion.
Yeah.
And their hopes for people to gravitate towards their faith, that's all just being ignored in society, so that people just focus on themselves, their wealth, their jobs, their families, and whatever other physical desires that they may have towards achieving happiness. And religion isn't directly associated with happiness and well-being, so it's kind of put off to the side. So, I understand people's concerns related to COVID, because I've seen. Remember, I talked to you about this one scholar who didn't want to go do a Jummah khutbah because he said that, "Oh well, you guys are doing the Jummah the wrong way, because you shouldn't have the social distancing during the prayer, so I'm not going to give the khutbah."
The space, yeah.
And I'm like, does that make any sense? Like, that's their opinion, and they're forming a Jummah around that. But this scholar just completely ignored, the way that they're performing Jummah, and said, "Hey, you know what? I consider that invalid, and I'm not going to give a khutbah over there." I don't know. I think those kind of things are more hurtful than anything. I agree. Within our religious community, like, wait, why can't you just recognize that, hey, this community has a different way of understanding how to deal with the pandemic, and you have a different way, but no one's coming close to you. And if you're not worried about social distancing, so what's the issue? I mean, because he's saying that there shouldn't be any social distancing during the khutbah. So okay, well,
I think he may be of the opinion. Sorry to cut you off. I think he may be of the opinion that if you, from the conditions of the prayer, is that you have to, and there's a lot of things that go into this, but you have to. What constitutes a jama'ah is people should be able to stand next to each other. If that's not possible and salah you're not able to attain salah in that manner, then that's one of the reasons why that's one of the excuses why people shouldn't come to the masjid, or the jama'ah is not necessary in the masjid because it's not meeting those criteria, but whatever, there's a lot of stuff that goes into that. And the only reason why I'm asking, I know this is like what people talked about in the beginning of this whole pandemic, like even like 8 months ago, 9 months ago. It's just now I'm in a different type of mindset when this whole pandemic, it's kind of like I was kind of taking it easy, and I think rightfully so. I'm glad I did that. It gave me a peace of mind. But now since I see the numbers kind of going down since the vaccine came in, I'm talking more people, more and more for some reason. I'm crossing paths with more people who are major skeptics when it came to COVID. Not in the sense that it's not fatal. Yeah, it's fatal to many people and it's harmful. But what intrigues me is still, and I said this before, is the element of the realm of the unknown and the the ambiguity, what am I trying to say? Like the sureness of the future. Nobody really knows what's going to happen. Like we were just talking about the vaccine. Nobody really knows what's going to happen like 5 years from now. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of.
That's the thing. Like what we have though.
I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You'll be dead.
Yeah. What's the premise of that one Will Smith movie where he's dealing with the world of zombies? Who remembers that movie? I know. I'm talking to two. I'm talking to two people who don't watch movies.
Men in Black.
No, I watch movies, just not the movies you watch.
Men in Black.
No, it's called I Am Something. Oh God, I can't believe it.
The movies I watch.
I Am Machina.
Yeah.
Will Smith.
Machina.
I am.
Like I've got.
I Am Legend.
Varsity Blues is in my top 5. So obviously the movies I watch and what you watch.
Is Varsity Blues about people who go to university and they're sad or something?
No.
The premise of the premise of I Am Legend is that the whole world was vaccinated and the vaccine went wrong and people turned into zombies. So there's very little of humanity left.
Yeah.
So
according to our eschatology, that probably shouldn't happen.
But in our society right now, we have the most educated or the most all the doctors and health professionals and the lawmakers. They're the first ones getting the vaccines. So if they get vaccinated and it goes wrong, we're not going to have society as we know it. We'll have the inmates running the prison.
Yeah. Maybe Qura will be available for Hijra.
That little area? Are you talking about just the university?
Or the Mauritania in general? Like
Qura there, yeah.
Qura, the university, right?
Not Mecca. Mauritania. Yeah.
That's, yeah, man. That's, yeah.
You got to go to those backwards, like boondocks places to get away from stuff.
Yeah.
I bet they're chilling.
Yeah, I wonder what COVID is like over there.
I wonder what
I don't even know,
Sheikh... speaking of which, Rahimullah, Sheikh Murabat al-Hajj's son-in-law passed away.
Yeah, what was his name?
Last week.
I remember there was some confusion around his name.
Murabat Ahmed al-Fal?
Ahmed al-Fal, I think it was, yeah. Ahmed or Muhammad. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's an interesting last name, Fal.
Yeah.
F-A-A-L?
Yeah.
It's like a machine gun called a Fal. Anyone who plays Modern Warfare would know.
Okay, this. I didn't plan on talking about this today, but are you still playing like Modern Warfare and stuff like that? Or did you get back into it?
Not at all. No, I'm just too busy right now.
Yeah, no, because people are really, I mean, pun intended, people are really militant about those games, bro. They're really
I was, but I just because of having the podcast being
I can imagine.
Something that we have a healthy way of kind of spending our time towards, even though when we're not on screen, we're spending a lot of time researching and learning and understanding and just dissecting different arguments. So that takes a lot of time and just a mental energy and focus away from video games. And sometimes you just need to. Sometimes my kids will like watch me like looking at a wall, and I'll just be like, I just need something blank to look at so I can process not just everything that we're studying or researching, but also just personal things and stuff like that. All that stuff has to kind of process because you're just so wrapped up with work and all that. is happening. You need something white that you're just looking at. So
You know,
can
now
just
that you mention
process.
that, I do find myself more and more zoned out recently over like the past few months. And I was just like, wait, because that usually didn't happen to me that much, but now I'm like, this is happening more and more. I'm zoning out.
Have you
on
tried
things.
the sensory deprivation tanks?
No, I really wanted to, man. I really wanted
There's
to.
there's some great ones. And
Even
I
in
know
the city,
there's
but I think it was Naperville too, right?
there's
Naperville,
companies
Downers
popping
Grove.
up all over America. I know even in the UK and Canada as well. There's clinics that you can go and schedule some time where
Yeah.
you just go into a room where there is what does it look like? It looks like a giant like
a
tube,
bathtub.
like a bathtub, but
Some
it's
of them
like
have like a
but
bathtub
super
setup.
like
But
you
it's
just
really
kind of
dark,
lay
yeah.
into this dark tube that's kind of filled with like warm water,
Yeah.
and you're just
Adjust
kind
your
of
body temperature.
yeah.
Tons of Epsom salt to the level of you just float in it and you don't sense any of your. You deprive all of your senses basically, so you just end up. The water is the same temperature. The weight of the water just holds you up. No light inside, so you end up just feeling nothingness, so you can unwind your mind. Some people have some traumatic. I think a small percentage of people who do it have some traumatic issues. One of our friends, common friends, he went to sensory deprivation tank in the city in Chicago, and he told me that he kind of like zoned out and he kind of fell asleep in there, and he woke up and he didn't know where he was.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because he was like, it was my first time doing it. It was so comfortable. He's like, I didn't even get a chance to think like I wanted to, but it was more therapeutic for me.
Yeah.
So I fell asleep and I woke up. And the crazy thing is that he said that when he woke up, he forgot where he was for a second. And for some reason, where his head was before, that's where his feet ended up. And then he started like knocking on the doors, like, get me out of here, get me out of here. Until people came and opened it up for him.
What if she was like dead and he was in like a casket, like 6 feet under, and no one opened up the door? It's
That's
like
messed up, bro.
you're just laying there. You know how many
I thought
times
about that a few
that's
times.
happened in history that someone that there were like some certain kind of illnesses that you would end up waking up. People would diagnose you as dead, but you would wake up a day or two
Is
later.
there a sickness that happened like that in Ireland or Scotland, and they used to put a bell over like one of the graves? So
Yes.
what was that? What
Yes.
sickness was it? There's
There's
actually
a bell with-
idiom that comes out named after that.
There would be a bell inside a casket or something.
No, the string would go all the way down into the casket, so they could ring it if they woke up, and then people would come and open up the grave. That's messed up, bro.
Imagine-
Why are we laughing about this?
Imagine you're just ringing the bell
That's
and
messing
then
up
you
with
open
this,
it up, but they're like dead like for days, and
Too
it
late,
wasn't.
yeah.
But no, it was not too late. Like it was like the ghost was shaking the bell.
Yeah, I don't know about that
Is it
too
the
much.
potato famine in Ireland?
The Irish potato famine.
Is that what?
No.
You know, the Ottoman Empire helped out during the Irish potato famine.
yeah.
They have a football club in Ireland, a soccer club. So they have the Ottoman Empire's crest
Really?
Yeah,
in their logo.
They had good relations, man.
Because the
How
Ottoman
are the
Empire-
relations now with Turkey and Ireland and stuff? Are they good?
Well, Ireland was never a significant like ally for the Ottoman Empire. It was just a way to kind of
Humanitarian.
for the Muslims to kind
Feel
of
good about themselves?
to give to kind of it was like a poke in the eye to the British Empire. Like, hey, look, we're helping out your backyard, and while you're not helping out. So when they helped them out, then the British sent their ships to like, oh well, look,
Really?
what's it called? What is it called? The
sick man of
Saracens? No,
The Saracens.
yeah, I don't know what they're called.
The Mohammedans?
The Mohammedans are helping out. Yeah, the Mohammedans are helping out, and we're not. So
So then we started, when we were talking about this conversation, I was,
Yeah.
because he was telling me that it's affecting everybody differently. I was like, yo, what if all this is just sad, bro? And that's how we got on the topic of a mujahid. And then you were telling me that all these people are emailing you guys about mujahid.
So first of all, there's one.
Abu Mujahid is this exorcist for those who don't know.
There's one brother that hit me up, and I was like, sure, I'll give you his contact. So we walk in, and it's apparently Sim on the Slack. So the brother that hit me up, you good? That's just one guy. Apparently, you're getting flooded with emails.
Yeah, we did an episode with this exorcist. It's called the Muslim Exorcist. That's the YouTube show we did with him. How long was it? Was that 3 years ago?
2-3 years ago.
It was
Yeah.
before YouTube, man. It was
No,
not on-
it was on YouTube. It was one of our first shows on YouTube.
Was it on YouTube?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
like
yeah.
broke quality. It was horrible.
Okay.
And I was like wearing my hat backwards. I'm like, ugh. was horrible. Why didn't you guys ever tell me to stop wearing my hat
That
backwards?
was kind of cool.
I
You
thought that was
remind
the
me
thing. I thought that was when I first met you. That was your thing.
Yeah, that was my thing.
that was pretty cool. You remind me of Desi version of Limp Bizkit. What's so funny about that?
Bro, no one
Wow,
likes
I never seen you laugh like that.
shit. How
Look how
could
this
you?
guy's laughing.
Was that dude named Fred Dunst?
Fred Durst. How do you know that? How do you know Fred Durst? Everyone
He's
makes
from
fun.
Columbus, bro. What do you think?
That's why
He's from Ohio, bro.
Fred. He just needs like the little stringy like.
Not like
the-
that. I'm just saying the
The
get up.
look,
Anyways,
his
bro. Yeah,
piercings,
yeah.
you'd be good.
No, you were fine, man. But so, anyways,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
The emails with Abu Mujahid.
So
the Muslim
Abu
exorcist.
Mujahid was this exorcist that we invited, and he was a guy that Sheikh Hamer's gone to him, goes with him regularly, and
I used
acts
to
as
back in the day. Back in the day.
yeah, back in the day would go regularly with him in these exorcisms and stuff. And so one time, one of our common friends needed some exercising done, so I accompanied, or Sheikh Amr, I told him like, hey, can you come with me? This
was
thing's kind of new for me, but I wasn't really scared, but it was just kind of cool to share the experience with Amr. So I was like, okay, let's go. And then he came. It was one of the most surreal experiences of my life. It's something that you'll never forget because people.
I remember a lot happened before I got there too. I got there like an hour after you got there, or something,
Yeah.
or after the exorcism started, maybe like half an hour after that.
Yeah.
And you're like, bro, I saw some crazy stuff. I was like, what'd you see? And yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, there was just there's so much to talk about. That's another show on its own.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
there wasn't anything cabinet flying thing. But there was people who the patient wasn't very. It wasn't the same person.
Yeah.
So you knew that there's some kind of entity, and because this is a patient that I knew, like I'm like, okay, well, this is someone who's supposed to be normal. Like they don't have this kind of stuff happen. But when I first saw like him doing the tests and stuff to see if that person is actually possessed, nothing happened to me. Nothing happened to Amr or anyone else in the room. I mean, when he went over to that person, boom, like immediately that person just sat down and just went into like a trance state.
I'll say one thing. Remember when he told that individual to drink the water, the Zamzam water that he read Ayat al-Kursi on in Surah Al-Baqarah? He had them drink it, and that person was like, Windex, you're giving me Windex.
Gasoline.
No, gasoline was second.
Oh, what's
first like Windex, and the second time gasoline. Why are you giving me gasoline? He's like, it is not gasoline. It is Zamzam. You know Zamzam,
Bro, if anyone knows like the old Dracula movies, like Bela Lugosi, that's how like Abu
He's such
Mujahid
a
like
G,
talks.
bro.
He talks like in a very like
Sheikh
elegant.
Amr, like usually like more impressions. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Before the show started, he had us rolling. Like what else?
I can't do that, man. That wouldn't be nice.
What?
I gotta ask Sheikh Al Mujahid first.
He say he doesn't care.
He don't care.
And this is better.
Bro,
than
I was
for him.
joking with him throughout the whole show.
No, I know.
And the listeners were upset because you know what I said? What joke? You know what joke? So he was like talking about this like this night spirit that comes at night. This female night spirit, and I was like, oh man, she must be attractive or something, right? And he's like, no, they're very ugly, very ugly. I'm like, that with a few beers. And the listeners are like, what is wrong with Sim?
I don't think he heard you say that though. I think everyone else heard. I don't think he understood what you were saying.
after a few beers?
Not.
That's messed up. How do you think that? That's crazy. One thing I'll give you is, bro, there's a lot of people that I've respected, that I had a lot of respect for. I'm like kind of cordial in front of them, and you just bust out with some crazy jokes, and I see them crack a smile. I was like, how is this?
The only one was like Sheikh Amin. Sheikh Amin, I think I was the one pushing more.
Yeah, but Sheikh Amin's kind of chill though.
Yeah.
We've known him for a while.
true,
He's kind
yeah.
of chill.
See, it was something that we did since we were kids. So you would always be the serious one, and I would be the clown. I would come, and like making the teacher laugh was always something fun.
Yeah.
Whoever we sat with, I like one of my like objectives of the day was how do I get the teacher to laugh?
Yeah. That was kind of funny, dude.
Yeah, Abu Mujahid is probably our most serious guest.
He was pretty serious. He takes his craft pretty seriously. He's been on a lot of shows before. For the most part, his demeanor is serious. He's a man who smiles a lot, but when he gets into what he's doing, man, mashallah, dude, he really like loves what he's doing. It's unfortunately very hard on him and his family, but he still continues doing it, man. And he's got a passion for it.
So Ali Maliki Click said he's coming to Seattle soon. for some Rookia.
Yeah, most likely.
Oh,
he
really?
is.
Yeah.
He travels all around the United States, man.
Malik.
Abu Mujahid's going to Seattle.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought Malik
yeah,
is
so
doing
Maliki.
I thought Malik is doing some Rookia. He's advertising. Oh,
He's like, they should probably do a promo or something. You know, like
everyone should get
upcharge.
tested. Everyone should get tested, no matter what, because even though you may not necessarily have like a demon inside you, but you may have some kind of evil eye, you know, and things like that. So
yeah, man. It's pretty important.
But there's I was watching like Christian exorcists, because the Catholics have their own exorcists as well, and they were talking about their own experiences, because we have like there's Christian equivalents of the Mad Mamluks,
Who are they?
I don't not like 1-to-1, but I'm saying like there's like YouTube shows related to
okay.
The young
interviewing people. But no,
They're Muhyiddin.
those are Murtadin, yeah. The
Mulhids. Mulhids, right? They're atheists?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
yeah, so they were talking about their own experiences, those Catholic exorcists, and they were same as what Abu Jahal was telling us about.
Yeah.
Related to all the things that they experienced during the exorcism. Things like the entity is just trying to scare you away and just trying to get you to stop. So it'll do anything, any manifestations that it does with the body, any things that you would say like, well, how the heck does this thing know this about me or about the surroundings? It's going to manifest itself to spook you so that you leave. I don't think the Christian guy even said that there was anything like, cupboards shaking and, things like what you would see in the
That's
Exorcist
very
movies.
rare,
But yeah.
He did show me a video of Mujahid of a house of people that had the Ouija board inside of their house, and the kids were playing it, and the parents didn't even know they had this game. And in the downstairs bedroom, he's like showing me, look, this is the video. And this is Abu Mujahid, man. When he sees something like this, he gets excited. So he's like, Ahmed, it was at IFS. He's like, Ahmed, come here, I need to show you something. I was like, yeah. This is after Isha. Yeah. He's like, look, I'm going to show you something. The door was closing. I was like, what are you talking about? He shows me. He's like, look, there's a jinni inside of there. He's so excited about it. There's a jinn in there. Look what he's doing. Yeah, I did the Exorcist. It's gone now. I was like, what a G, bro. The guy is such a G. He used to do it all in his house before, bro.
Yeah. That's when we went.
Yeah,
remember when?
yeah.
He's got his own clinic now.
He's got his own. Yeah, he's got his own
Baller.
setup. Yeah, mashallah. But a lot of his work he does like all across the country, man. He gets called all across the country. He goes to Canada too.
At one point, I was thinking about studying underneath him.
You should.
No, because for the money, because there's
For the money.
bro, if anyone can see the Mad Mamluks inbox right now, is majority of the questions from that one episode we did years ago. Majority of our emails are related to that one episode from all around the world.
Wow.
I get random WhatsApp messages. I don't know how people got my number. It flew into the public space somehow.
Wow.
And people start
great
messaging
thing.
me like, hey, I heard, like, I'm thinking like it's a fan who wants to talk to me, and I'm like, oh, mashallah, like, okay, cool. Like,
I find a lot of people.
I respect you and stuff.
Google,
but do you know Abu Mujahid? Just like, son of a...
He thought that they liked him.
Yeah. Abu Mujahid. Oh, man.
Yeah,
But, there's another guy, right, too? Abu Jihad in Chicago?
Abu Gihad.
Oh, Gihad.
Is he Egyptian?
No, I think he's Palestinian, but
Are they rivals? Do they have like
no, they know
like
each
clinics
other.
across the
Shoot,
street
I
from
don't
each
know if I
other?
should have said his name.
That would be so baller.
No, they're fond of each other. They're fond of each other.
They should do a collab. take the selfie stick or walk around, graveyards or whatever.
You were saying there was a comment.
There's a question from Sheikh Saad Qadri. Can a Muslim Rocky exorcise a non-Muslim jinn?
Yeah, a lot of the jinns are non-Muslim. They're not only Muslim, they're non-Muslim, right? It's just a lot of it's reminding. If it's infestation in the house, you have to remind the jinns and the shayateen, whether they're Muslims or not, that the treaty that was made with Sulaiman alayhi salam before the ending of his prophethood, that you're not going to live in the dwellings of the homes of people. So you have to remind them of that. It doesn't matter if they're Muslim or non-Muslim, to be honest with you. I think sometimes, I think like 50% of the exorcisms I saw were Muslims, and the other were not. They were just, plain old shayateen, man. But it happens. Muslims are mischievous, so are Muslim jinns, man.
Remember that we were talking about
Shout out
homosexual jinns and stuff too? We were talking about in that episode, like whether there's homosexual jinns. And that was like something that he was saying that there are, that
they have the same things as human beings. They have the same dilemmas as human beings, obviously. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. We haven't created jinns. He mentioned jinns first. وَالْإِنس, and human beings, except for the fact that they have to worship Allah, right? So the counter intuitiveness towards worship, the same issues that humans have, obviously the jinns have too, right?
Yeah.
So we just can't see them; they can see us, right? As Allah mentions in the Quran, we can't really see them.
I wonder if they have their own activists too.
Do they have their own like Me Too movement
like their own
extreme left,
like their own Linda,
Oh wow!
No, I mean,
like the kid who goes, Linda, look at that clip.
No, our Linda, dude.
Who's our Linda?
Their own version of our Linda.
Which Linda? What's the last name?
There was only one Linda, dude.
I don't know what you're talking about. Anyways, he just said Linda. I just think as soon as someone says Linda, I think that little kid with that clip. Linda, look at Linda, look at.
No, he said, "Listen, Linda."
Yeah, listen.
Listen,
Look at, listen. Yeah. I think he says listen.
Listen, Linda, listen.
He doesn't say look at all.
No, he didn't say look.
I love that clip though. I love it. Anyways, guys, another political question I have for you guys. I was in class today, so I didn't get a chance to watch the second impeachment trial. What's going on? I really didn't look at any news today.
Do I look like Mort?
Yeah.
Kind of. You follow this stuff. You're a Trump supporter.
But I moved on, man. It's like,
oh, okay.
Yeah, I generally follow the winner. I support the winner. Like he lost.
Who cares about bandwagoning? That's not even a concept anymore.
I mean, like Biden. Joe.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Did you follow anything on the?
I don't. It's a moot point. Like it's something that's really actually dissuading the country from working on what's the immediate concerns. There's people who are dying.
I get that part. That part. But all this stuff plays out because me and Sheikh Omar Hasib actually had a really deep conversation about this stuff, which we could probably get into. But
why don't you tell him to bring his fine behind up into the studio?
Number one, I'm not going to say that one of my friends says that, hey, bring your fine behind over here. That's just very uncalled for. Why did you just say that, bro? What does that mean?
That's a sheikh, right?
What?
That's a sheikh.
Yeah. He's my boy, too.
Oh, so okay. You say you're...
I mean, like, you know how Mort talks to Amr?
Yeah.
Like,
which we're not going to hate. Please
I don't
want to character assassinate Mort right now, please. He's already got some problems because of his mouth.
So, like, Mort is like to Amr what I am to Umair.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Because I knew Umair when he was a high school kid drinking protein shakes.
I remember that.
And, like, just going to the gym and trying to get with chicks.
Yeah. I mean, trying to get built. Yeah, trying to get buff.
Yeah.
You just do the chicks
part.
Anyways,
related to
So the mindset I'm in right now, and correct me if I'm wrong, man, I have a really simple way of thinking, but all of this impeachment talk, and it's kind of showing you the holes in something that's supposed to be, the whole world is watching, the leaders of quote unquote the free world, and there's this sentiment of trying to double impeach or trying to impeach this president so he can never come back. They're still concerned with him. When they can be concerned with many other things, which is showing their weakness in the first place. Like, why is that what you choose to show? And why is this like, I got so many alerts on my phone, the impeachment trial is from the CNBC, all and live, watch it live, YouTube, all these YouTube live channels that are people doing reaction videos to it. And I was like, man, there's so many other things happening right now.
I can guarantee you this much. If Trump had done some things related to upsetting the establishment, like for example, pardoning Julian Assange and Edward Snowden, guess what would happen? Like Washington, that's something that Washington itself does not want to happen because it's about sending a message to people, no matter where you are, whether you're a citizen of our country or not. If you publish or you go to WikiLeaks or you leak out our secrets and stuff like that and you embarrass us, it's not going to be without consequences. So it's very important for Washington to establish this precedence of a painful life that you're going to have ahead of you, like the one that Julian Assange is living in like the Ecuadorian embassy and
Yeah.
Edward Snowden's in Russia. Still has to look over his shoulder everywhere he goes. So it's about sending a message, right? And if Trump had pardoned them, well then these kind of things happen where you can be gotten. They'll get you back. The establishment will get you back in other ways, like in his impeachment trial. So I don't imagine anything serious happening to him because he didn't do anything really drastic in that respect. Where he still followed the line. He was still pretty much within the allowed spectrum of debate and what was considered acceptable policy. He didn't really divert from that, so they're not going to skewer him. He'll still survive. He's not going to go to jail for insurrection or anything.
I actually don't think he is going to either. I don't know. All this just shows me like so much weakness at the same time. You know what I'm saying? There's something between these lines that shows you weakness of somebody who's supposed to be the leader of the free world, and it's just too petty. It seems something that's too petty, spending so much time on this individual. I get the message sending part. I totally get it. It just, I don't know. It just doesn't give me a good flavor.
Well, it's always about just getting people to look at or be concerned about things that have absolutely no bearing on their life. They need to put food on their table and earn money and things like that. The things that need to be upfront in the public debate are like stimulus checks and how much money can you put on the table. When they bring these things to the spotlight, it's taking away the discussion from things like universal healthcare and basic human rights that we all should be afforded. The whole homeless problem across California, like all these cities all across California. I was in San Francisco a couple of years ago. Man, every single place where you are going to park a car, they like have signs over there saying that watch out for your belongings, take your belongings with you. There's so many like people like crawling everywhere.
Our friend Imam Mark Manley had his truck, like what's that thing underneath the truck called?
People take the not the alternator. Is it the alternator?
It starts with a C.
Catalytic converter.
Catalytic converter. They jacked it. What does that do? And he's like, his truck.
They resell it for like $100.
What does it do? Like
the catalytic converter, it goes from the engine is like a part of the exhaust.
That's one of the most common stolen things, right?
Yeah, and especially on those tall Ford trucks, Ford vans. Because they're so high, people literally go jack and they'll sell them for like $150, if I'm not mistaken.
And you can't drive your car without it?
No. Oh, I think you can. It's going to make a lot of noise. It's connected to your exhaust, if I'm not mistaken. It has a bunch of powdered chemicals in there that filters the gas that goes through the exhaust out through your exhaust pipe. That's a butchered version of it, I guess. Maybe we have some mechanics that can help us out. But, yeah, dude. So, I don't know. I think there's too many things that are happening, and the timing is just impeccable. I don't know, man. It's you just start thinking of things. It's I think the older you get, you just start thinking of things more seriously.
Remember a year ago we used to talk about Hijra to Istanbul?
I mean, I never used the word Hijra, you know what I'm saying? But I said, I wouldn't mind checking out Istanbul to see what life is like there. You know what I'm saying? We
might as well get some. We might get some Ajr.
Why are you gonna start talking? When you start talking about Hijra, why your accent change all of a sudden? You're talking about Hijra. We might as well get some Ajra. I was like, is that a part of the package?
So we can go to the masjid.
Masjid? Just say masjid, bro. What's masjid? You don't even talk like that unless you start talking about Hijra. Did you ever notice that about yourself? Why'd your accent change when you talk about Hijra?
Speaking of, any of y'all had a chance to check out Sheikh Yasser Qadhi's 3-hour lecture?
I didn't get a chance to.
Did you see it, Sim? Or listen to it?
I heard it was a good watch.
Yeah, well, what's the big freak out about that?
It's like 3.5 hours.
It was really good.
I just don't know what it's about.
So, you remember on our show was really the time he really kind of got into the Najdi Dawa, remember? When the interview we did with him? That was the first time that came out. But this time he goes really in depth about like exactly what he studied, his sources material. But he also talks about himself, like from the get-go, like when he started studying. This dude was reading books when he was in 1980. He said his first book on Aqidah was like Bilal Phillips' Fundamentals of Tawheed book in 86. So he would have been like 11. Man, were you reading any Aqidah books when you were 11?
Nope.
Man, shoot, I was reading like Choose Your Own Adventure.
Yeah.
Like we used to hear of like Iman and you know, all that kind of stuff when you were younger. I think the first time I actually heard of like Aqidah, the word Aqidah and its study was probably when I was like in college or something. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know about it before that.
Right.
We knew it as like Iman and like, you know, purification of the soul or whatever the case is. But the whole word was kind of, I don't want to say hijacked, but by a certain group of people because they put their own twist to it, you know, and then everyone kind of learned it that way.
Yeah, so he talks about his own personal story about how he like got into the whole like Salafism movement and then got into Medina and, you know, and then why he started questioning things. You know what I'm saying? It's really interesting. It's a real. I listened to it on a 1.5 speed. 3 hours is like, you know. But I was at work doing something kind of mindless, and I had that playing in the back. It was solid. I would recommend everybody check it out. I mean, it made sense. There's probably some questions left to be answered, but I think if you guys haven't heard it yet, it's kind of.
Yeah, I plan on listening to it.
I think you guys should check it out.
Well, what's the main takeaway?
It's kind of history, right?
He's talking about like how the main thing is like specifically the evidence behind Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab's dawah and why it's different from Ibn Taymiyyah because that's equated, right? And it also talks about, he kind of breaks down like where Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab misrepresents the concept of shirk, right? And how he cut and paste certain Quranic ayat in Kitab al-Tawheed and then leaves out like other verses that are relevant. With Kitab al-Tawheed being Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab's like main
magnum opus.
Yeah, you know, that and Usul al-Thalatha, right? And Yasir Qadhi was many people's first introduction to Yasir Qadhi was his like massive series on Kitab al-Tawheed, which he taught when he was like, I think like 21 or something. That's still available online. You can still find it.
I wonder what he feels like when he sees people sharing that.
I mean, he doesn't like it, but he's like, he understands there's nothing you can do about it, right? But he's the kind of guy. It's funny though.
No, but the only reason I'm saying this is because I know that he doesn't like the way he I think handled that, the way he explained the book and everything, right? So that's what I was saying.
You know,
but
but you got to understand, it's like, I think it comes with the territory, right?
Of course.
There's a slight chance I'll probably be regretting something I say on this podcast 20 years from now.
Knowing you're probably not going to regret it. You're going to be watching these and you're going to be celebrating.
I'll tell my kids, like, yo, look at your dad.
Look at your dad on YouTube. When it first started
But Dad, you're saying things that are contrary to Islam. Like, no, but look at me. I'm on TV. I'm so cool.
But there's one thing about, and we've met Sheikh Yasser in person. He mentioned something very interesting, which I thought you would appreciate. You'll get this. You know when he meets other people who have people of knowledge, he's very like direct with them in a point, in an unfiltered way. He talks about this.
Yeah.
Because he said he would meet like traditionalists from the like more Ash'ari Sufi camps, and he would basically ask them like, "Yeah, I read your fatwa. Seems like shirk to me." Like he's very like he's straight up. He would just say like, "I just go up to these guys. I'd meet them somewhere, and I would ask them." And he talks about an interaction with Sheikh bin Baya, where he was like, "Sheikh, you know, most of these people here they promote shirk." Right? And he talks about this interaction. And Sheikh bin Baya's like, Yasser, it's I don't agree with it. I think it's haram and I think it's bid'ah, but it's not shirk. And I think that's this whole thing. It's like the dawah of Ibn Abdul Wahhab made certain things shirk, which in reality could be construed as more like haram or bid'ah if you go that route, right? But to make it shirk has certain implications. And he talks about the whole thing, which is kind of never. When I was going through my Salafi phase, we didn't really hear about the Ottoman Empire being made takfir of. But he pulls like actual quotes from Ibn Abdul Wahhab when he talks about like calling them to Islam. You know what I'm saying? So it was like
is it inside of that video?
It's on that video, and he has a book that he pulls out. It's a book by Sulaiman ibn Abdul Wahhab, Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab's brother, who like wrote a refutation against him. Kind of thing. So
I was gonna share this thing. It kind of hit the airwaves while we were gone, and I wanted to bring this.
A random Sim, or is everything?
Sim got bored with Akida talk.
Yeah,
so he had to like divert. He was like, Akida's overrated.
It's just like most of our listeners don't even know anything about Akida anymore. So it's just like,
they're gonna be like, excuse me.
Well. This was something that was kind of buzzing.
How many female imams are there?
Yeah.
How many female imams are there in the UK at the moment? Just because I presume we'll get to this more, but representing, of course, women, which you will do as part of this. How many do we have in Britain?
I mean, I think, again, I wouldn't have a clue on these numbers because my role is making sure that we include our affiliates, particularly women, in the work that we are doing and making sure that um, our structures, as well as the work we do, are truly representative. So I think that,
Do we, sorry, you don't know, that's fine if you don't know, but do we have female imams in this country?
I mean, again, it's not. What, are you referring to chaplains, or are you referring to women that lead the prayer? What are you referring to? And I think
Well, you tell me. I'm genuinely intrigued to know. Of course, female priests have been around for some time. We've also seen the advent of female rabbis in this country. What is the picture for women leading prayer in Britain in Muslim communities?
Well, I think my role isn't really to adjudicate or to examine that part of spirituality. I think where women want to make those choices and where, that these are all religious discussions.
Oh,
of
no,
the
no, of
Muslim
course.
Council of Britain.
It was just, I thought, because the Muslim Council of Britain's played such an important role in getting the number of Muslims, for instance, added to the census. I mean, that was done at the turn of the century, so we actually knew how many Muslims there were. Do we have female imams?
I think what's really important for the Muslim Council of Britain and the work that we do is actually that it's not about defining, or going into these types of questions regarding spirituality, but actually looking at how we can benefit our communities, especially given the pandemic and given,
of course,
the role that everybody needs to be playing.
And we will get to the pandemic. It's just quite striking that you can't sort of answer that question. I recognise it's not a religious or spiritual role.
Exactly. I don't feel like that's within the parameters of my roles and responsibilities, especially as the first elected female representative.
I mean, I would have asked a man, but I'm asking you because
just...
you're here.
So, here we go. Now, I sympathize with this sister's, what's her name? Zara something?
It's not Zara Faris, is it?
No. Heck no, that's not Zara Faris. Zara Faris knows how to handle that kind of question, without a doubt. She would have said 0. You got a problem with that?
No, you guys.
So
is Zara Faris someone on the podcast?
No, she's from the UK. She's a Muslim scholar from the UK,
Okay.
or she's someone who leads a lot of Muslim women in complex theological questions.
She's red pilled.
Okay, no, the reason I was asking is I don't know her, so I was gonna be like, wait, I have to make sure she was on our podcast already.
No, inshallah. Like I was going to invite her, but maybe we're too deplorable for her. Who knows? With the kind of stuff we say.
We'll have to get her on a UK tour.
Inshallah.
Post-COVID.
Zara Muhammad. So MCB is it's kind of like the political action committee of Britain. So and I sympathize with this sister is because she's trying to. She should have just been straightforward. She should have just said 0, and that's the correct answer. The way to deal with that is that the Muslim or the Islamic role or roles that we have assigned for genders is not the same as the Western. The relationships that or the prevailing roles that they have kind of assigned for men and women in society are not the same as in Islam, and it wasn't that way with Christianity or Judaism as well. And well, that was a Bupka's question where she said, "Oh, well, Christianity and Judaism have that. They barely have it, barely."
It was her attempt to corner her. That's
yeah.
So she knows there's none.
Yeah. So she knows there's none, and a lot of Muslims would have stumbled on this because they feel like they're coming. If they had said 0, that they're conceding, or that they look backwards, or that there's something wrong with them, that they're kind of fighting, that their morality is at a lower grounding than the Western grounding, the Western understanding of morality. Is it?
Yeah.
And it works on a deeper psychological thing with us.
Sure.
I think what we have to do is we have to realize, like, hey, this is our Islamic rules related to gender. They're not necessarily compatible or are going to be aligned with the Western world, and the Western world has to be okay with that. Why should we have to change
Yeah,
You know?
it's also more sim about knowing your role, right? I think what you're saying, may Allah bless this sister for doing what she could, right?
I mean,
But look, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, qulu qawlan sadida, right? Say something very, very straightforward. Don't sugarcoat. Say what's right. If something's wrong, make sure you let it be known that it's wrong, right? Obviously, there's ways to go about it, but there's some instances where you have to show that you have a position. You have to.
Yeah.
And if they see you, because someone like this who's asking this type of question, she's probing, and she wants to find somebody in a weak state in order to be like, aha, gotcha. Now, the dilemma is, if you're giving them a little bit, be like, well, as soon as you start that tone, they know they got you.
Yeah.
But if you're like, zero, like you said, zero, that's it. That's sadid, right? That what the verse is referring to, you're speaking straightforward. You're saying it like it is, and we're not ashamed of it. The other psychological thing that you were referring to, I think it's a really deep one, is because Muslims are caught up in a situation ever since the late 90s up until now, is that if I'm on a media platform and I'm being asked questions, number one, I'm representing all of Muslims. Muslims have this fear, and it's a good fear to have, I think. It should be nurtured by people around them or to help them, but number one, I have to be a good representative of Muslims. So I have to have good manners, right? A lot of it comes down to manners too. That's one thing I notice with people. The other is that I don't want to say anything inaccurate, and I can't think fast enough right now, which very few people can, right? I think the other thing is that I don't want to give this person too much room, but at the same time, I don't want to seem backwards, like you were saying. So there's many struggles I think that are occurring, but the solution to this is, which requires a little bit of grit, it requires a little bit of guts, but you have to just say it like it is. No, there's zero.
Yeah,
Well, why is that? Because our religion says so.
Exactly.
Because that's what it is.
And saying it confidently.
Yeah.
Say it confidently.
Say it confidently.
Say
man.
with what's that thing?
Say it with your chest.
Say it with your chest.
I knew that's what you were thinking. That's Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart, man.
Say it with your chest.
Say it with your chest. Because look, people can see through you when you have any kind of insecurity. It comes through.
Yeah.
And she's a politician, right? She's in the MCB, Muslim Council of Great Britain. That's the main political party, I think, for Muslims that interact with the government over there. So I understand why she can't say it with her chest. She's going to be...
she has a lot of things to think about.
Yeah, she'll go into a compromised state, right? Because in politicians, you just have to kind of dance the boundary or dance the dance, and
then people can misconstrue, and she has to think of all that stuff. Anyways, man, Allah preserve her and make her strong, and continue for her to do good. But people like that, when they ask you the type of questions, man, you just because my religion says so. Well, what? Well, that's just the way it is, man. Sorry. Let's continue, right? Some people, that's how it is. Some people actually are curious and they really want to know about your deen. Then, by all means, man, be a little more elaborate, be a little more detailed. But people who are trying to corner you and catch you, just be straightforward. That's all it is, man. That's all it is. And it's in our nature too, man. When we're talking about Islam and the deen, we also want to be very nice to people. There's that thing that's driven within us that you have to give good dawah the way Muhammad ﷺ did. So answering these questions are not very easy, Yeah. Answering these questions are not easy at all. But that's how it is, man.
Once again, like, it's not necessarily that everything that, you need to own it. Like, for example, like honor killings and stuff like that. Yeah. That's ridiculous. Don't be stupid.
Because that's not a part of
That's
Islam,
not part of Islam.
Doesn't that depend on the situation, though?
But don't deny that it exists either,
What?
You're crazy. You're about to be crazy right now. This is what you want your kids to watch when you grow up? The conversation we had 10 minutes ago? Isn't
it like khilaf on this issue?
Stop it, Allah, bro. No. Anyway, I heard recently
like urf is important, right?
Yeah.
Is it urf part of fiqh?
Yeah.
So if the urf includes honor killings, like, isn't that like a...
No, we'll have a whole show about that, inshallah, if you want.
Like urf.
But I was on I got into this new app called Stereo. We were talking about this before, just to see what it's like, and have
called Stereo?
Stereo.
Okay.
It's in competition with
Clubhouse.
So I would I just put up you could go live on there, and you just title your talk. I just put Ask a Muslim Anything, and
that's the name of your group.
You could you could change it every single time.
Sure.
You could constantly changing even between a talk and stuff. It's all audio.
Yeah.
You can't send text messages, only video. So if you and me are talking, we find two people, it's literally swiping and finding people to talk to,
Yeah.
right? And if somebody wants to ask a question, there's an audio button on there that you record, and they record their question. And then if you want to click on it to listen to who sent you a voice message, you can listen to it. If not, you can just continue. So it's supposed to be like
So it's not
radio
live though.
shows.
It has some delay. You can
The question, yeah.
You can record the question. It's like more a Q&A kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's-
but you and me would be talking just like the way we're talking right now.
Yeah.
And somebody would chime in and ask like an audio question, like a recorded question, while they're talking to us, while they're listening to us. And it's cool, man. I met this awesome brother from Indiana. He's a convert. He's like, brother, I haven't talked to a Muslim. He's a white dude. I haven't talked to a Muslim in so long. It feels so good to talk to a Muslim. You know, and he was trying to throw in the terms that he was learning and everything. It was pretty cool, man.
Is he new to the internet?
I don't know. You know, he said that he didn't have a phone, so Allahu Alam, man. He was using his mom's phone, so I don't know.
Is he from Indiana? Is he white?
Indiana, yeah.
So
Yeah, he's from Indiana, so
okay.
He's from
Indiana, so you know, I mean,
He's from Indiana,
like,
so.
Okay.
Remember Whitesville?
But I was like, yeah. So how long you been on this stereo
about
app?
4 days.
Yes, I got on Clubhouse a couple weeks ago. My friend invited me.
How come you didn't tell me, bro? I was just asking you about that, bro. Were you
no,
saving it
no,
for the show?
Clubhouse is an iPhone only app.
Clubhouse
Is it iPhone
iPhone.
only?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that.
then
Yeah.
it's gonna fail.
But how come you didn't tell me? Why are you telling everybody now? How come you didn't tell me you're on it when I asked you, bro?
I asked to the TMM WhatsApp group that you never check.
I'm just joking. Go ahead, dude.
Because I was thinking, but it's pretty interesting. There's all kinds of like random chats going on, but it's like real time. People just start up groups. I've been looking at like there's like these professional podcasters. There's one dude that like made all this money like building podcasts for these big corporations.
Is it?
Yeah, so like he has a room, and so people are like jumping in, and he hosts, and sometimes they'll be going on for like 4 hours. They host
Wow.
rooms that go forever because people just keep jumping in, and like people are addicted to the app. You know, it's a way to like, from a marketing point of view, it's not like Twitter because it doesn't last forever, but it's a way to engage people, and then you direct them to the show. So that's what I was thinking. Like if Mad Mamluks had like their own Clubhouse room.
That's what I'm doing on stereo. I already told 3 people to check out Mad Mamluks.
You know,
2 of them were non-Muslims, yeah.
But maybe if we all go on stereo then, because you guys, so you two have Android, me and Mort have iPhone, right?
You have an iPhone too, right?
No,
You got rid of
astaghfirullah. What's wrong
Wait,
with
no,
you,
I
Sheikh?
thought
Are we
you had-
friends? Or I thought we were like childhood friends. You should know me. By
I think
now.
he tried an iPhone for like a month and then like gave
Like
up.
I tried for an objective analysis of the iPhone for 3 months, and
Objective analysis. Wow.
it's a
I
very
didn't know
good
you-
phone. It's a very good phone. I'll give it that. You know,
I'm all
it's not enough for me to leave the Galaxy, the Google environment, and what everything that the Galaxy has to offer. Just the widgets that the Galaxy has is just far and away amazing.
I'm completely sold out to freaking like Apple. I got like
Applesauce.
AirPods, Apple Watch, iPhone,
I see what you're
everything.
saying.
So
Yeah.
it's just like I'm a novice when it comes to this
Yeah.
stuff.
If anything, the 3 months allowed me not to hate Apple people. Like it just
It's
gave
like
me
you're
enough.
okay now.
Like I'm like, you know, you guys need help with technology. You guys don't understand your way around things, and Apple has to make it make sense for you. You know, and it has to. You know how like you know the thing that the term kids glove you have to kind of restrict people from hurting themselves by limiting their access to different areas of your phone. That's the thing that Apple says, hey, don't worry about any customization. We'll do it for you. We'll tell you what you need to customize. So you're literally just following their philosophy, and you're restricted to whatever they want. Like they want, they got the headphone jack removed from their phone.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess we had to buy the $300 AirPods or whatever, you know?
$300.
Yeah, how isn't it $300 AirPods?
No, like 120.
It's pretty
So
expensive.
it's like 120. He knows the exact.
It was 300, right? At one point,
I
wasn't
think
it
the
super
most it was like
expensive?
160. Maybe there's like pros now, like
I don't know, but it's super
upgrade
expensive.
editions that are like 200 or
You
something.
lose one of those and it's gone, and you have to buy a whole new $120 just for little tiny AirPods that you could just be jogging and whoop, it's gone down the drain.
That's why you don't
Have you ever
jog.
worked out in them?
In AirPods?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't fall out? Have you ever sprinted in them? Like
Do
on
I
a
look like a
treadmill?
sprint?
No, like on a treadmill and stuff. I don't know. You'd be doing some CrossFit stuff once in a while.
I
man.
stopped the CrossFit. I stopped. Speaking of working out, Sim,
Yeah,
somebody
I thought you were supposed to bring pizza today
Brooklyn Pizza.
somebody
You
commented.
just see you. Wait, why are you?
because Sheikh said in the WhatsApp group that you were
Yeah,
supposed
like
to bring pizza.
yes. Somebody commented that Sim, have you been working out? Somebody asked if Sim's working out. Sim looks more cut.
Mashallah.
I have
Someone
been
recognized
doing
him.
some-
Isn't that a great feeling? Somebody recognizes.
Mashallah,
when you've
dude.
been
Thank
working
you
out?
so much. Who's that? Who's
I
that, brother?
forgot.
Give him-
It was way. Waji Rahman.
Thank you, Waji. Now,
I think it
yes,
He's so happy now. Look at his face. His eyes are getting all watery.
I have been, doing
Mashallah.
intermittent fasting, and I've been,
swimming.
I've been swimming, but lately I've been doing a lot more snowboarding and stuff, and my body's been beaten up from that.
Did you intermittent fast while you were snowboarding?
Yeah.
How was that?
That was fun, dude.
Was it difficult though?
'Cause
it's
so
strenuous.
you need water like crazy, and I think in the middle of the mountain I did break the intermittent fast. I was just like, I think in the middle of the day I said I need some Gatorade because I was just losing sugar way too fast, or just not having energy way
Feel
too
like your
fast.
muscles were cramping up and stuff.
Cramps because I get foot cramps because I have
Oh,
flat
can't
feet.
stand those, yeah.
So with snowboarding, you're using your feet so much that you cannot afford to get foot
Yeah.
cramps, and it's not just. It could be like really dangerous for you to snowboard if you're getting cramps.
Is it?
Yeah, because you're not going to be utilizing your feet to the capability that you need to while you're going down a mountain at very high speeds, and you need to adjust your feet quick enough. And if you're not putting the required effort into your muscles that they need, then you're going to wipe out and you're going to get
When
hurt.
you say high speeds, how fast do you think you go?
Well, I think majority of us would go around 40 to 45 miles an hour.
That's pretty fast.
Yeah, it's
Is
pretty
the
fast.
jacket and all the
Like,
thickness, is that enough padding for if you fall or break your fall?
Um,
Because I only saw one picture so far of your snowboarding thing, and it seemed like you were pretty puffy with a lot of your clothes.
yeah, so there's added layers, but the main thing, you can put all the layers you want, but the amount of snow that's on the mountain that causes the ability to absorb impact. So falling off a snowboard at 45 miles an hour is still much more better than falling off a motorcycle because you're falling on snow, which
And
is
you're
still,
probably gonna
even though it's
slide when you
compact.
get the impact too.
Yeah, there's still so much more absorption, and you're not
Sliding too.
yeah, and you're not falling at weird angles. You're really just falling flat, and you're gonna do some flips and stuff, and fall on your back. But it's not as horrible as it is with skiers. Skiers is much more scary when they crash. Snowboarders have this way to slow themselves down because their feet are locked in a lateral position to the ground. So the snowboard wedges itself as it's sliding and slowing you down really fast. But
I didn't learn that the one time Sim tried to tutor me. He was my coach. It reminded me of like Cool Runnings.
yeah,
When you were there with us, because you were the only one wearing shoes and everyone else with snowboards and skis there. And I remember that I literally brought. I'm not going to tell you guys the whole story. I probably said it on the podcast before, but I was literally on that hill for like 2 hours, and I thought I got so far. I turned around, and it was like right there where like I started off. It was so difficult, bro. I was sweating so much because every time you fall, I must have fell at least 100 times, bro.
yeah.
And every time, and by the time I was done, I was so sweaty. Remember, they went for a second round. You guys went for a second round, or the other person you were coaching, and I just went to sleep in the van, bro. I was like, "Yo, give me the keys. I'm done, bro." I literally walked off.
Yeah.
I saw all these kids going by, and they're like flying. I saw this dad teach his little kid how to do it. Dude was like 6 or 7 years old, and he's like doing this thing where you do this like half circle and you go back and forth while
Yeah.
you're going.
I think I'm a much better teacher now.
Yeah?
I think you should try again.
I think I should because I saw you guys have some. I just saw the pictures that you had.
Yeah,
Man, that like the only thing I could say was like heaven on earth, bro.
it is so beautiful, dude.
It's so-
And those mountains are so gorgeous.
Yeah, man.
Those mountains are like almost, I would say, 10 times taller than the Willis Tower or whatever, tall building, the
Wow.
Burj Khalifa or whatever, These are 15, 17,000 feet in the
How is
sky,
the
dude.
breathing up there?
The air is definitely light, dude. I mean, it's you're gonna definitely run out of breath much more easily, and you just got to be. Just because someone else is able to handle the altitude better than you doesn't mean that you just say like, hey, well, I'm gonna suck it up and
So
do
I'm
it.
pretty sure all the
You need
swimming and all
you
that
need to
stuff you
realize
did
your
help,
limits
right?
and be able to take a break and
So all the swimming and all this stuff you did like 6 months prior to up to that probably helped a lot, right?
without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, swimming helps so much in terms of endurance.
Yeah, Yeah, man, I that was bad, bro. I literally had to take my snowboard off and pray on the side of the mountain. I don't know if you remember the side of the hill. Even though Cascade, it's not that bad. And I kept on telling Sim,
these are like small hills for people who don't know.
Yeah.
Understand where he's talking. He's talking about these small hills in
meaning
Wisconsin.
they weren't that steep and it wasn't that long, but it was like you couldn't see the bottom of it from where we were, kind of. But yeah, it was pretty embarrassing. I'm not gonna lie, but I wear it with the badge of honor. I told myself, I'm like, yo, I'm never going snowboarding again. But then recently, I was like, maybe I should just give it one more try. You know,
You should.
Dude,
We'll go to the little mountain called Wilmot, and it's just an hour away from here. A whole lot of little kids go over there.
I told him I wanted to go sledding like everybody else and like tubing. He's like, no, you're not gonna go tubing. I was like, bro,
There's
so
a little
fun.
kids on that hill, dude. You're gonna be tubing a big old sheikh tubing with little kids.
Bro, it just looks so fun though. Anyway,
that's
all good. It's all
that's
good.
our show for this
Oh,
evening.
just your I
go
think your
ahead.
nephew Mustafa Saeed. Is that Naveed's kid?
Yeah.
He wants a shout out for Gainesfit. Even though I think we gave it last time, right?
Yeah, we won't give it. Forget about Gainesfit. I'm just joking, guys. Gainesfit, Oakbrook Terrace. Check them out. My brother's running a gym. Mashallah, they're holding the COVID strong. They have private sessions. Y'all cool with this, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Private
dude.
sessions.
We'll ask for the check
small
later.
classes, inshallah. Yeah, check later. Small classes, personal trainers, gives you more personal time. It's more like a workout studio type thing. There's open gym hours. There's trainers for women in boxing. There's trainers for women in, just functional training workouts like burpees and kettlebells and station setup. It's actually done pretty professionally. It's connected to his office. He's a chiropractor, so he's like right around the corner just in case you break your leg or something. I was joking, Charlie, you won't break your leg. But it's all good, man. Check it out. Gains Fitness. And it's an Oakbrook Terrace, inshallah.
And last thing, some of your
That's GAINZ,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, Gains with the Z.
your students been like freaking
Gains Fit Club, sorry.
spamming the chat, and I told them that if they come up with $20 on the super chat, they can ask the question. But since they didn't, y'all's question ain't gonna get seen. So peace.
All right, fellas, we have some fantastic episodes coming up this weekend at 1 p.m. on both Saturday and Sunday. That's, I think, 7 p.m. in the UK, 1 p.m. 2 p.m. Eastern, and for our Cali friends, I think that is 11 a.m. So Saturday we're going to have the author of Conflicts of Fitness with A.S. Amin, author of evolutionary of a book that is discussing evolutionary biology with Muslims and kind of responding to Edward Dutton's episode in regards to what his views are related to that. And if people don't remember, it's really about whether Islam or religion makes people or society dumber or lowers their IQ scores across society. So it's some important questions to answer. On Sunday, we're going to have an episode with Mirza Beg, founder of Islamica. Islamica, of course, is the parody news site that is related to Muslims. Everyone should have heard. Shouldn't even have to give an intro about them. They're really well known. Before anyone existed, it was Islamica. I pretty much existed.
They were
before.
way ahead of their time.
They were way ahead. I think, what was it, 99, 98? They started coming out with stuff. I can't even remember how early, but before there were even major superstar scholars, they had like Islamica shirts like circulating all over
They used to come to
stuff.
Isna sometimes too.
Yeah. So anyway, we're really excited for this long overdue episode, and I think you guys will have a really good time listening to Mirza talk because he's a super funny guy. And he makes me laugh all the time. But yeah, that's our show for this evening. Help us out on patreon.com/the Mad Mamluks.
Saad Qadri, mashallah, with the super chat.
Oh, thank you so
Coming through at the
much.
very end.
Thank you so much.
Wow, Jazakallah khair.
Jazakallah khairi. Sure.
Zaid Khayyat, you'll never be as handsome as me. Sorry.
All right, folks. We'll see y'all next time.
Say mashallah.
Assalamu alaikum.
So.